Welcome to the Shipping Podcast, where you meet interesting maritime professionals sharing their passion for the shipping industry and their everyday job. I am your host. My name is Lena Gothberg. Ladies and gentlemen, in this episode you will be meeting another interesting shipping business lady. It's the current president of WISTA the Netherlands, Joan Nuijten-Muller. I have known Joan for 11 years, as you can hear in the interview. I had no idea that her family was the owner of a tugboat company. She works for the Multraship Towage and Salvage, where she is the HR manager. I think that only proves the theory that Fritz Blessing had, which I told you about earlier in the episode with Teresa Peacock. When women meet, they start to talk. They become friends, and then they exchange business card to be able to continue the friendship and the relation. I think this is the first time in 11 years that I see Joan's business card. So I hope you will enjoy the chat with Joan. We talk about flags and recruitments, how to build for the future, and of course the usual question, how does the shipping industry become less invisible? So I'm happy to introduce to you the current president of WISTA the Netherlands.
My name is Joan Nuijten-Muller. I'm one of the directors of Multraship Towage and Salvage Company. It's a family company based in Terneuzen, Holland. And I'm also president of WISTA the Netherlands at the time.
So you are in the tugboat business?
Yes, yes. And my family has been for all their lives. So I was born into it. And I tried to do something else, but then I had to go back.
So how many ships do you own? Or?
At the time, we have 52 ships owned. We are growing quite rapidly last years. So we have all kind of tall and small tugboat ships and working boats. But we're growing rapidly, yes.
I can understand that. So what's the significance for tugboats?
The nice thing about the tugboat industry is that it is developing very rapidly. And also because as a tugboat, you can assist all kind of ships and types of ships and all kind of businesses. So as we see it, we are very diverse. We work in harbor towage, we work in ocean towage, we work in maritime contracting, offshore contracts, wind energy contracts. So it's very diverse. So that's good. And that's also the way to expand.
Do you work outside the Netherlands or is it?
Yes, our head office is in Terneuzen in the Western Scheldt area. We also have a tugboat company in Bulgaria, Burgas. It's called Burgas Tug Company. And we, because we do ocean towage, we work all throughout Europe. So like North Sea, Baltic Sea, Black Sea, Mediterranean seas. Since 2 years ago, we have a contract in Angola, West Africa. So we also have there 4 ships working for the terminal contracts.
Oh, I see. How exciting.
So it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, it is. So how did you try and get away from the tugboat company? Did you educate yourself?
Yes. I did a BBA studies in Antwerp. And then there I met my husband already then. And together we went to live in Eindhoven, another city. And I found a job and he found a job. And I thought I'm never going to work in family business.
So what did you do then?
I worked in human resource already, in a crewing, like a crewing agent, but then for like secretary personnel. So I had my first experience there in another company. And my husband, he worked for ABN AMRO Bank. He was like financial trainee. And then after a few years, we went back to the family in weekends and we saw all the growth and development of the company. And we said, this is really nice. Maybe we should give it a try. So then we organized a dinner together with my parents and we did our job interview with them.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
When was this in time?
It's 1998 we're talking now. And so we asked my parents, I always said to my parents, I'm not going to work in the company. I want to do something else. So, but then we invited them and we said, can we have a job interview with you?
Okay.
So that's what we did. And they were very happy that we wanted to join the company because they were growing also at that time quite rapidly. So me and my husband, we are working in the company together now.
Oh, I see. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, so it's my brother, Leonard, and my sister Aileen. And they're also both working in the company.
Oh, I see.
So it's a real family company.
So how many employees are there?
At the time, we have 350 employees working on a fixed basis for the company. And of course, we also have temporary employees. So it's quite nice now.
Yes.
We always talk like that. We're always like, okay, we're going to be a real business now because, we try to be hands-on, and because we are working with the whole family in every area of our business, one of the family members is working. We have a good division of that, but we still feel it like family business. We know all our people very well. I know all our crew members personally, and we think that's very important.
Yeah. So what is your responsibility now within?
I'm human resource manager, so I'm responsible for all human resource issues. I still do all the interviews myself with all personnel for the office and for the fleet. So I speak to all the crew members we hire, and I think this is one of our success factors because we know what's happening. We know what's happening on the company, and we can react quickly, and so that's nice. It's a nice job I have.
So do you have different nationalities as well employed?
Yes. We try to have as much as we can the Dutch officers. Also, when you look at working in the Dutch harbors, they still speak Dutch in the harbors. So we need Dutch-speaking officers. So the officers are mainly Dutch, and then we work with Philippine crew and with Bulgarian crew, of course, at our Bulgarian harbors, and some Polish crew. That are the nationalities we work with.
Okay. So now I can ask you, what do you see? I mean, now you have told everyone that you've been in the industry for a while.
Yes.
What changes do you see? Like for the last 10 years or 20 years in the shipping industry also?
Well, what a big change is that, I don't know if it's a good development, but you see the companies getting bigger and bigger. There are a lot of mergers and a lot of companies going together and becoming one big mega company. And you see, for us in our position as a smaller family company, it's getting harder to compete that. So that's, I think, in development, also in tug business and harbor towage, especially, you see the development. So there are less competitors, but they are getting bigger.
And, for instance, recruitment, is that easier now than it used to be, or?
No. It's still, and we are very lucky because we already started like 10, 15 years ago with investing a lot of money in education and in training. And, almost on every ship we have sailing, there's an extra person on board who has been trained at the time. Not only young students, but also from other kind of businesses like fishermen or from the dredging industry. We try to teach them the tug business because we need, because we're growing rapidly, a lot of new people. But what we see around us, also in Dutch ship owners' world, that there's a lack of good experience for people. But we invested a lot in that. And now we have another problem because now we have a lot of interns and we don't have space enough on our ships to put them on. So that's another issue again.
How come? You got so many ships.
I know, but I'm talking about like the Dutch ships in general. It's getting, because we did a lot of promotion of all the Maritime Academy and to get new students in. And it worked out successfully. And now they have a problem. They cannot find a place on the ships. So we're working on that now together with the Dutch Ship Owners Association. But that's quite an issue. But for us as a company, we invested, as I said already, a lot in that, and we still do. And we think that's a big advantage if you look at our competitors, because they were like more investor-driven companies, and they were looking at revenues rather than looking at long-term future, and they didn't. So they have a bigger issue than we have.
It's interesting. I can hear the same songs going around in Sweden.
Yes.
That the educated people don't have any place on the Swedish merchant navy anymore because we haven't got as many ships under the Swedish flag.
Yes, that's also an issue. Yes, it is not only because there are a lot of students, but the other issue is that the Dutch flag ships are also, of course, decreasing.
It's sad in a way.
It is.
Because we will see the consequences in years to come.
For sure, yes. And if you look at our company, we are very proud that the most of our ships are still Dutch flag. And we try to keep it like that because we're proud of that. But on the other hand, sometimes it's difficult because they make the rules like so strict and so difficult that sometimes we also say we're going to flag out our fleet. But, for the people, the crew, it's like our most important value as company. We can have beautiful new ships, we can have nice contracts, but we need the crew on board to work for us and to be our business card for the rest of the world. And they are, luckily.
So how do you see the future for shipping in general?
Well, we had some interesting discussion about it this morning, actually. And how do I see the future? Well, I think, of course, shipping will always be a business because we need ships. But how will these ships be managed, be sailed? We don't know. We are even already talking about tugboats without crew on board. I cannot imagine that. But then again, I think you have to realize that you have to think out of the box. It's in future. So I think there will be a lot of developments, a lot of innovations. You still see that. But there will always be a role for shipping in economy, for sure. So I'm very positive about the future.
But how should the shipping industry become less invisible? I mean, we are invisible to the general public.
I think we are too modest in a way. I think we don't like to talk about ourselves in general, I think. And so it will be also more a marketing thing to be said. And it's also the same discussion we have within WISTA, of course, as women in shipping. We have to speak up. We have to stand up and speak up. And that's the same for the shipping business, I think.
I think you had some sort of campaign in Holland.
Yes, we have a campaign. It's called Zeebenen gezocht. To attract, yes, sorry, that's a Dutch term. So looking for sailors and starting already at the schools for the children and to attract them to the shipping business. So, of course, this is a good campaign.
So is that from the Dutch ship owners?
Yes. Almost all ship owners are united in the Dutch Ship Owners Association, and they do a lot of work in promoting and campaigning. So that's a good association for us, yes.
And you have also been in WISTA for quite a while.
Yes.
As I have.
2004, when the conference was in Rotterdam, I was there for the first time.
Yeah, and that was my first international conference, so I met you there.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and the first,
11 years.
Yeah, and the one who was speaking at one of the workshops was Karin Orsel.
Yes, I know. That's
she
when
was
I
speaking
met her.
about women in shipping. That's where I met her for the first time. So how do you see WISTA has developed? I can see developments within WISTA. What do you think about that?
Yes, well, of course, as I'm now president of WISTA Netherlands, I'm more close to the international network. So it's nice to see. I think there are two different developments looking at WISTA Netherlands and WISTA International. So in WISTA Netherlands, we have a good development because we're still growing. And there are still a lot of women who don't know WISTA. So we still are working on that and trying to organize all kinds of nice workshops and visits to company.
How many members do you have in WISTA Netherlands?
So as we speak, we have 150.
Wow.
Yes, we are growing again because we put a lot of effort in the last year in putting very interesting programs, educational programs, instead of only like the networking thing. And that attracts the Dutch women. Mm-hmm. They like that. Mm-hmm. So it's growing again.
And on the international arena then?
Yes, but the international, that's the same, of course. It's growing also very rapidly. I think we have to be careful because growing rapidly is not like the success factor for sure. I think it's also about the quality of the organization. That's also how I say in WISTA Netherlands. It's not about the number of members we have. It's about the quality of members we have. And I think this is an issue. Personally, I think that. On the other hand, it's very nice to see that all the new countries joining. So it will only broaden our minds and broaden our world. And we have to embrace that. That's what I enjoy to see and to meet all the new friends there. What you also see, and it will be a struggle forever, it's like there are a lot of cultural differences, a lot of differences in thinking how to do business. And, it's our strength, but also our weakness. So.
Yeah, you're probably right. Who would you want to listen to in a podcast, in an interview? Who do you think I should interview the next time?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I would be interested to speak to more of the African ladies, but you already told me that you spoke to Na. Yes. I would for sure name her. Of course, she's just become a member in the EXCO, and I think she's very, very nice lady and very outspoken. And I think it will be important also for the African countries to stay within WISTA and to stay important within WISTA, because also looking at the development in shipping, Africa has a very great future, I think. So that would be one. And of course, one of my Dutch ladies. And I don't care which one, because they're all very interesting. So I can give you the whole list, because we're here with 15 people. But that would be nice. That would be nice.
And if you think outside WISTA, is there anyone you think?
Outside WISTA?
Yeah, you would be interested in listening to.
Wow, that's a good question. Outside WISTA and within shipping, I assume. Yes. Did you already talk to, and it's also a little bit inside WISTA, did you already talk to Tineke Nederlenbos?
No.
Our WISTA ambassador?
No, I haven't.
She's a very interesting lady, and I think you would really like to interview her because she has a very good idea of how the shipping business is evolving. So I'm staying within WISTA now. Again, sorry for that, but that would be a nice choice, I think.
And she is with the Dutch Ship Owners Association.
Yes, she's president, and she was one of our former ministers.
I have met her.
Yes.
With you and with Karin.
Yes, probably, yes.
Very nice lady.
And she's been very important for us because she's a very big promoter of WISTA, but in general of women in business and in shipping. So that's a good example. I think I would like to listen to her again.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time, Joan.
No problem. Thank you very much, Lena.
I'm so happy that I did all these interviews with the ladies in Istanbul, enabling me to show the world that there are ladies also within the shipping industry. And I think it's nice to listen to their views of the industry that we are working in. You can hear that there is a common theme to what they are saying. So soon maybe I have to find people who can actually do something about all these ideas that turn up when people start to talk about how the shipping industry could become more visible. You can do your thing. You can start spreading the news about the shipping podcast. Download from iTunes and show your friends how to do that. I haven't met anyone yet who isn't happy and amazed how easy it is to listen to podcasts. Even if they don't continue to listen to the shipping podcast, which I find very peculiar, but at least you have shown them something they didn't know anything about before. And there is so much out there that you can actually download and listen to and learn new things. Thank you for listening to the Shipping Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, and hey, you can always tell your friends about it.